So Kim, I recently found out that 1 in 5 women say that they are the only woman in the room at work.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, but I do think it's time that changes. I think that companies need to take accountability for that, and the woman in that position needs to continue to maintain her confidence and self-esteem. And I know that that's very hard when you're the only one in the room, but companies need to take responsibility for that and do a little bit more to make sure that the teams that they're pulling together are diverse and represent really the community that they're trying to serve.
Right. So you've had the opportunity to actually connect with some of the women who are leading the profession.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you were able to learn from them?
So, all of them were great, and we could spend the rest of the day talking about my conversations with them. The first one was that they were all risk takers. They didn't shy away from taking a risk. And, and I say that, but when I was talking to them, each of them considered risk a little bit different for them. So my risk is not going to be the same risk that you might take.
Right.
And so it's very, self-defined in terms of what that risk is going to be, but they were all willing to do that. They all had the capability and the courage to just step out there and do what their gut was telling them to do. The second thing, it was that they were very comfortable with it, right? So they were taking the risk, they were comfortable with who they were, comfortable in their own skin. They were who they were, and the third thing is they were unapologetic for it.
Right.
This is who I am. This is what I bring to the table, and I'm not going to be afraid to speak my mind, to step out there, take a risk, and be who I am. And I thought that was just very inspirational in talking to them.
Yeah. So what do you think that companies can do to better support women?
Yeah, the profession is now in its 50 years of recognizing diversity. In 1969, the AICPA's council passed a resolution and recognized that diversity was really important to the profession moving forward. And so they talked about minorities and women, and I would absolutely say that, looking at the history of women from 50 years ago, we have really come a long way. And I think that was through companies putting together employee networks or networking groups for women, targeted leadership for women to grow and build their skills. And all of those things were good. But now I think that companies need to continue to do that, and recognizing the importance of, women in leadership roles. The skills that we all possess are very different. And if you diversify your leadership with the different skills, you'll certainly go a lot further than the company has been in just having one homogeneous leadership profile.
Okay, so I guess conversely, what do you think that individuals or women can do to better support other women?
Yeah, as a coach, I often work with women and really encourage them to visualize where they want to go, internalize what they see their role being, especially if there isn't that woman at the top that they can truly see. I want them to visualize themselves being in that role, and I want other women to help them do that. Right? And so if we're all thinking that there's only one seat at the table for a woman or for a minority, we're not going to encourage and grow each other to get to that seat at the table. And so my recommendation for all of us is to grow and build each other. And that's the only way that it's going to happen. So that's what I would recommend to you. That's what I recommend to people that I coach, is that, we're all responsible for each other's success. There's enough for everyone. So let's just help each other grow and visualize.
Well, Kim, you've certainly provided lots of insight. I want to thank you so much for speaking with us today. And if you would like to hear more from women leading the profession, make sure that you tune in to the Go Beyond Disruption podcast.